All right, welcome back to Problem Solver Politics. I'm your host, Cardon Ellis with Cody the Oracle.
Hey, everyone.
We got a really important conversation topic today. After watching the first day of the Democrat debates on NBC, if you are a Democrat, you should be really, really, really concerned, shall I say, about what was not said in the debates. Not what was said, but what was not said. Cody, can you really quickly read the tweet put out by Zach Andrew Yang's campaign manager?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's always simple. He just said 0 candidates have mentioned the automation of work tonight. Unbelievable. And yeah, you would think maybe none of those representatives are representing areas that are getting hit by automation, but it's a real thing and it's happening all across the globe, really, and it will continue to keep happening.
Okay, and this is why this is so important. We need both parties talking about this. In America, we do well when both parties agree on something and in a bipartisan fashion fabricate good legislation to address a very, very important issue. And automation is real, ladies and gentlemen. And today we heard nothing but bickering and name-calling from the Democrats and this wild race to the left to see who could call Donald Trump more adverbs. And we're not addressing the actual citizens of this country whose votes you need and their real problems. Donald Trump did not get elected because of racial promises. He got elected because of economic distrust of the government, draining the swamp. He got elected because people had lost their jobs and felt like they were the forgotten man that Donald Trump promised to take care of. And there are stats that show exactly why this happened. And we're going to address a Bloomberg article that talks about the influences of automation and how it has taken away jobs. In fact, to what extent it has taken away jobs from these counties that have flipped to Donald Trump. And we're going to show you the stats that completely illustrate in front of your eyes why Andrew Yang addressing this issue of automation is so important. So first, it's not racism that elected Donald Trump. It's people that elected Donald Trump, and people care about feeding their families. So we're going to pull up a couple of graphics here first, okay? Almost like a symphony composed in front of your eyes, you can watch the election of Donald Trump happen in real time, okay? From 1993 to 2007, here you have a graphic that shows all of the areas where the most jobs were automated away, meaning human jobs were replaced by machines. You'll notice Michigan. You'll notice Pennsylvania. You'll notice Ohio. You'll notice the Rust Belt getting hard hit by automation. Now switch to our favorite NPR article that actually has an interactive map that will show you the difference between the 2012 and the 2016 elections. And you can actually see precinct per precinct, county per county, all the different counties that flipped from Obama to Trump. And lo and behold, what do you notice happens between 2012 and 2016? You see all the counties in Michigan light up like a Christmas tree. You see Ohio, you see Pennsylvania, you see everywhere in the Rust Belt lighting up like a Christmas tree. Why? Because Donald Trump was the only people promising to address their economic situation, promising tariffs on the countries that are now that had taken jobs away and put factories over there that used to employ Americans, promising the trade war with China, promising all of these economic issues would be resolved. And instead of learning from that, the Democrats have just doubled down on their claim that it's racism that elected Donald Trump and not people who are struggling economically. And if they don't change their tune, he is going to not just trounce them in 2020, but it will be an absolute landslide. So if you're a Democrat, you should be very fearful about what you heard not being said in the debates today, okay? And we actually have to take a look at this Bloomberg article just to show exactly, just to back up what we're saying. When a man goes to a voting booth and he's just lost his job, okay, he's not worried or angry about whether or not 100 Lithuanians or Somalis have moved into his neighborhood unless there's an actual direct economic impact. He's worried about the job he just lost and how he is going to feed his family, okay? And robots are having a huge effect. Sure, we all see the kiosks in the store. Now, instead of ordering our soft drinks at McDonald's from a human being, we go over to the kiosk and we get it. Now, when we go to Little Caesars, instead of actually talking to a 16-year-old this is their first job behind a cash register, we order it on an app on our cell phones, and then we actually go to the kiosk, scan the QR code, and then take the hot pizzas out of the machine. We all see small effects, self-serve gas stations instead of human-serve gas stations like they have in New Jersey. But by and large, there's now measurable quantifiers about how many jobs are replaced per robot. Cody, can you give us a quick summary of the Bloomberg article?
Well, I mean, I'd say the main focus of it right here for our purposes is there's just a graph, and they went through and they looked and they said on average how many jobs are lost per robot implemented, right? There's a little excerpt here where they say, while automation should boost the economy as a whole, it is likely to create greater inequality as employment losses are concentrated in certain industries and countries. Manufacturing could lose 20 million positions by 2030, making the sector 8.5% smaller than if robots were not remaking the market, according to the Research Forum's report. And they actually come up with a graph, and this is... I guess we can get into kind of mincing words here. However, they say on average about 1.6 jobs are lost per each robot implemented in the workforce. In the lower income regions, you see a little bit higher concentration of about 2.2. And then in higher income regions, you see 1.3. I think the reason being is just there's more, I could be wrong here, but I think there's more people working at a giant plant or factory than there is maybe stockbrokers working on a certain floor of a building.
Yeah, and read this quote from Oxford Economics. Just read this. It summarizes beautifully the situation in front of our eyes, yet all we hear from these guys is we're racist. Look, it says, in many countries, such regions have often been left behind as metropolitan centers prospered, and those dynamics have generated political polarization. This highlights the importance of taking policy action to cushion the likely impact of robotization. I'm sorry, I mispronounced it. Robotization?
No, that's good. Yeah,
robotization. No,
yeah.
I did it right. Yes, you're right.
The robots. Robotization.
Yeah. I doubted myself. I shouldn't have. In these vulnerable areas, this is from How Robots Change the World by Oxford Economics. Keeping this in mind, okay, let's just reread that quote. In many countries, such regions, meaning the rural regions, okay, have often been left behind as the metropolitan centers prospered. You know all those coastal elites that Tucker Carlson and Donald Trump keep tweeting about? And those dynamics have generated political polarization. This highlights the importance of taking policy action, aka the UBI, to cushion the likely impact of robotization in these vulnerable areas. What are these vulnerable areas in America? Let's go back to that graph. In 2012, let's take a look at rural Wisconsin. You know those Milwaukee drills that were the best drills in North America when I was a kid that everybody talked about if you were a contractor or a carpenter and getting, that are now manufactured in China? Yeah, well, Milwaukee's where? Wisconsin. Okay. How was Wisconsin in 2012? Wow, pretty Democrat. If you ask me, flip to 2016, boom shakalaka. How many counties did Trump take? Go back to 2012 and look at Michigan. Detroit, Michigan, come on. Synonymous with manufacturing. In 1960, there wasn't a type of engineer you could not find in Detroit. There was atomic engineers, aviation engineers, civil engineers. Anything engineer was in Detroit. It is now a robot central economic wasteland, case study in how not to do things. Boom, by 2016, look at that. It's a Christmas tree. All voting for Donald Trump. If you switch back to 2012, you look at Ohio, you look at Pennsylvania, look at everything in the manufacturing belt and the Rust Belt of America, and you see nothing but an absolute switch towards Donald Trump. And guess what? Until somebody steps up and starts talking about this, Trump will just keep winning. If you hate
one
Trump,
more time.
Well, one more time, yes. But people just like him. If you don't like Donald Trump, if you hate Donald Trump, the way to get Trump out of office is to start addressing the economic concerns for the citizens who do matter, okay? If you want to get him out of office. But just calling him racist, like all we saw all day today during the Democratic debates, is not what is going to solve the problem. We have a huge issue here. In fact, in the next video, I want us to analyze exactly how much it's affected us. We know that in the poor rural areas, one robot replaces 2.5 people's jobs. But I'm curious to see how it affects future employment. So we can make some good, not suggestions, but we can surmise some data about how it'll affect future elections.
Well, also, I wonder, to be frank, I don't think we even pulled the data for this yet. It's probably not out there yet. It'd take years. But you have to wonder is just how much money is stripped out of a community as these jobs start to get automated. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, maybe when, of course, the plant closes, that's bad. But then, like, what happens when they don't really hire as many people at the Del Taco anymore? And they don't even really hire as many people at the State Farm anymore? And, like
when people don't have disposable income to go watch the movies, then all of a sudden they don't need as many docents at the movie theaters, and there's this massive ripple effect.
Oh yeah, I mean, what happens when we haven't brought it up here, but it's gonna happen, man. And this is one thing is I don't want to get too far on the side here, but I think one of the other kind of things that goes hand in hand with automation is I know especially younger people at the millennial Gen Z era, older people, it's not weird to them to pick up the phone and order a pizza. Younger people, man, they will crawl a mile under barbed wire to order from their cell phone as opposed to pick up a phone. I'm serious though. Like there is this aversion sometimes to speaking with people, interacting with people when you don't have to. And when automation can be those conveniences, when you don't have to go to your hairdresser for every little, just little touch-ups and stuff, you can have just sit in a machine, it does it for you. You button the buttons. Like anything that kind of removes that, people are, I think, sadly going to kind of gravitate towards, and it's just kind of, it's going to take away a lot of the jobs I don't think we were ready to lose when we're going to lose them. I think they're going to come quicker than we thought. And then just one last thing I wanted to get to really quickly. I just wanted to shout out to Joseph Kenny on Twitter. He helped us with some of the research on this video. So thank you.
Yes, Joseph, shout out. So please like this video, subscribe to our channel. Please share it with your friends. Talk about automation because this is the new industrial revolution that will be affecting all of us. And no one, except for this show, the Yang Gang, and a few select Republicans are talking about this issue, but it is the tsunami that is actually coming and it needs to be addressed. This is Problem Solver Politics.